Hi guys. So I am not going to cover Foodie's grocery haul because it was so tone deaf and just stupid. I'll recap for you that basically she bought stuff that she's going to eat within 3 days. It was not the type of haul of getting canned goods and emergency supplies and things that she would need in the situation she is currently in. In regards to her crazy, unhinged live stream where she continued to gaslight her audience and tell her audience that her area is not on the radar. She's close enough that she can hear it, you guys. And she is also given enough details about her location that we know she's south of Damascus. She's in a suburb. She is somewhere in the middle of these bombings. The bombings by the border that are the Heights area. I can't remember the name of that particular area. It's a Heights area that's primarily occupied by the Druze, who are very loyal to Israel. They are an offshoot of the Muslim religion. And so they get protected in the country of Syria as though they are Israeli citizens. And maybe some of them are, because Israeli has certain access to citizenship through heritage. For example, if you are Jewish, you can get citizenship, I believe. You'd have to look that up, but I'm fairly certain you can just get citizenship if you're Jewish. If you can prove that your mother was Jewish, because that's how it passes down, then you can be a citizen of Israeli and have dual citizenship. Italy was doing something very similar. They were trying to convince people to come back and take over a lot of homes because they lost so many of their residents due to COVID. They had a severe crisis in Italy. And so what they did was they said, as long as you can prove that your grandparents were Italian, you can have property gifted to you from the government. So those are the types of things that are going on in the world right now. But in the case of Donald Trump, who, by the way, is going to try and take credit for the ceasefire, he's going to try and take credit for the ceasefire between Israel and Syria, which they had already worked out before he got involved, or his Secretary of State or whoever is representing for the U.S., right? But he wants to chalk that up as a win. They had a comedian on earlier in this particular stream that also spoke of how Donald wants a Nobel Peace Prize. Well, good luck with that. But the other thing is that the Syrian government currently in place is Russia-backed. So is Turkey, Erdogan. He's Russia-backed. I believe that Lebanon is as well. And there are a few countries, Iran, that are Russia-backed in the area. So they are the absolute worst when it comes to propagating misinformation about what's going on. So when Foodie Beauty is like, oh, I can't trust Western media. Well, what the fuck do you trust? Basically, it sounds like she only trusts what comes out of the mouth of Salah, and he's slow as fuck. Let's be real. But anyway, getting back to Donald Trump right now. He apparently is losing his MAGA base because he doesn't want to release the Epstein files. And the UK is going to have a little fun with that. You know, that's what happens, Mr. Trump, when you build a base of QAnon supporters who are conspiracy theorists, and you feed into their conspiracy theories about election fraud, about the Clintons being involved with Epstein, and Hollywood being in control of everything, you know, the lizard people, all of that bullshit. This is the base you have. So, I mean, obviously it's not all the Trump voters, but it's the loudest. It's the loudest. And what an irony that the UK is going to release Epstein files before he visits, when he's already talked so much trash about the UK that base, they're against the national health care. They're against the fact that Julian Assange remained captive for a while there. I think he ultimately ended up in the US, but he was seeking asylum from in the Ecuador embassy, I think it was. He lived there for many years and was constantly afraid that there was going to be a sniper taking him out. But he was there for years and years and years. I have family members that took pictures in front of the Ecuador embassy who were so proud because, yes, not everybody in my family agrees on politics either. But anyway, let's see what's going on here.
Bestest of scenarios. No, it's not a meme coin. It's not a gold phone. It's not a golf course, and it's not a hotel. But it's the classic double-decker bus UK's known for, and the bus stop visuals that Donald Trump cannot escape when it comes to one Jeffrey Epstein. Check this out. You gotta love the Brits and their humor.
If as a result of his presidency the world does indeed end, won't it be marvellous to think it happened in our time?
He might change what the word presidential means. Like in a few years you'll be going, oh, my uncle fell over and banged his head on a curb. He's been rendered completely presidential. Official said, I felt like running down the hallway with a fire extinguisher.
His basic problem is he's confusing the role of President of America with 1970s light entertainment comedian at the BBC. The fact that everyone's tolerated him up to this moment, suddenly they've said, well, look, Donald Trump, he's awful. How could we have told? He's been campaigning for months and months. We've never had any indication that he might be thoroughly ghastly in any number of ways. I mean, how are we to know? This is unfair.
Every single time you gotta roll down the streets of London while you're here, Donald, you are gonna see life-size pictures. It's almost like having a statue of yourself on the streets of London. Isn't it, Donald? I mean, just think of it. Think of what Mount Rushmore could be like if it was only Mount Blushmore and it was you and Jeffrey. You're going to be immortalized in England from now on after this visit. But the people over there want to make sure everybody know who's coming to town. You may not have an ankle lock on you and you may not have a notification that there's a predator nearby, but everybody's going to be sure they know you're in the UK. You guys.
Okay, so it's not so much files, it's an embarrassment campaign. The Brits are known for having some of the most aggressive, hostile paparazzi in the world. And in fact, paparazzi was blamed for the death of Prince Diana. We don't know if that's true or not, so they have their own scandals and conspiracy theories and mysteries as well. But I'll drop the link to this. It came from Occupy Democrats, which I've been following since probably 2016. And sometimes they put out some bangers, you guys. But anyway, my goodness. I have Sally next to me. She's quiet. She's doing good. And I brought her out here because there was a very curious squirrel who wanted to jump on my balcony. And I was trying to use a spray bottle to discourage him from doing so. But he was persistent. So I'm like, let me get my dog. You know, and here she sits, just nice and calm. I don't even know if she would have really reacted to him at all because she doesn't seem to be affected by wildlife. She's only affected by dogs on leashes. And one's coming up the street, so I'm going to end here. I'll talk to you later. Bye.